So, uh, good afternoon. Welcome to the last set of classes that we have at VCS 2024 this year. I know there's a couple more going on, including there's one in the main room that Russell McFarland is leading on the future of lighting, which I sat in the first part of that, and it's really good. It's really interesting. So I can't wait to watch the recording on that. So what we're here to talk about today, and I'm going to share my screen. Whoop, no, we're going to stop sharing. Okay, we'll try that again. I don't know why Teams just seems sometimes, or Teams Zoom. We use Teams a lot. All right, now we should be sharing my screen. Good. All right. So this class is about AI music generation. And I don't know how many of you, I can't see the screen. I'm going to try to bring it up here in a minute. There we go. So hopefully if there's any questions as we go, somebody will let me know. So this is about AI music generation. I'm sure a lot of you have used AI. There was a couple classes today that were talking about using AI in your display from images, touched on some of the music, touched on some of the different things we can do in AI. I mean, AI has pretty much taken over everything that you can do, right, from a technology standpoint. It's here to stay. I think that before we get into it, I think that we can embrace it, and I think that's the best way to do it because it does help in a lot of cases, I think. So my name is Carl. A lot of people call me Norm. I'll get into that in a second. Our display is Imagine Christmas Lights. We're here in Cartersville, Georgia, which is northwest of Atlanta. And so I actually started a few years ago. I want to say we've been doing lighting since 2010, animated lighting. And then I started back in 2015 doing voiceovers actually for the lighting community. I was asked to help out with a couple people and it just kind of grew from there. So I do that. I do a lot of intros. I do some commercial work, but primarily it's for the Christmas lighting community. So, and when we talk about even voiceover work or anything in the industry, AI is pervasive in there. So you guys may be familiar with, some of the AI tools that do audio work, right? And you can do some pretty good work with it. It's not perfect. There are some artifacts in here, just like we're going to talk about today, but it's getting better. And so again, as a voiceover artist, and even for sequencers, either for other folks, we can embrace it or we can challenge it. But that's really, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. So one of the questions was, what do I love to do besides lights? The answer is there anything else to do besides lights, right? Is there really anything else out there? I joke about that, but yeah, I think I think it is a full-time hobby. People get into this today and they think that they can get into it, they can buy a few props, buy a few lights, and you can, but it certainly has grown since I started. And of course, I started doing lights like many of us even before that. So, Norm, a lot of people call me Norm. Back when I was in high school, a TV series called Cheers came out. And so, because of my personality, um, did like to maybe party a little bit. So I got the nickname Norm. So if you're familiar with Cheers, you'll get the reference. If not, well, just if you hear Norm, you'll know who it is. All right. So let's get into it. AI music generation. So again, this was actually created in part by ChatGPT, and we'll kind of look at ChatGPT as well as a part of this. So if you're familiar, ChatGPT was one of the first AI tools that really came out on the market a number of years ago, and it changed the way we look at things. And since it came out, everything else has just snowballed in just quite a few years. So this introduction here, this description actually came out of AI, and I think it's really good. I just asked it, say, give me an intro for what the title of this thing could be. What are we talking about? Really, it's AI music creation, revolutionizing how we compose, produce, and experience music, and that's true. There's several different platforms out there. How can we use it? How can we create parts of audio? How can we create more audio? I think that at the end of the day, the answer is I think we can use it for a lot of things. There's a lot of tools out there. I'm going to focus on two of them. One of them is Sunno AI, and the other one is Udio AI. Sunno is one of the first ones that came out, and then Udio came out. There are several others. I'm not here to really say one is better than the other. They each have their pros and cons. Um, Suno is more user friendly, I think. It's more for what we used to call the DIYers, right? I think it really is more, it's easier to work through and understand. And they've really done a lot of work in it over the course, even the past few months, of improving the performance, improving the quality of the music, the capabilities. Um, but it does lack some things, whereas Udio seems to be driving where more, I don't want to say more professional, but yeah, more professional audio content, music creation can come through. I use both from my perspective. I still like Suno probably, just because it's easier for me to use, right? So everybody has a different perspective on what they're going to use it for and how they can use it. Nothing I'm going to tell you here is nothing new. I didn't create it. I didn't generate it. I just went out there and what we call R&D, rip off and disseminate. So I've been using it now for about a year. So again, I think that I've just taken a lot of the what I've done, kind of put it into a very high level, quick format. Because like anything else, there's so much content out there about what you can do deep down on these tools, and there's just not enough time to talk about that. But hopefully by the end of this, you'll start playing with it, start using it. Maybe you may find a use for it, creating content for your own display. So um, I'd say show of hands of anybody who's used it, but again, I can't see the screen. So we'll just say that usually it's about in AI, 25 to 50% of folks have used it. I think almost everybody's used ChatGPT. Uh, I think things like Midjourney, which is a image creator, more people have used Midjourney, and again, there's a ton of image creation tools out there. So what I like or what somebody else likes, somebody else may say, yeah, I don't use that. I use something different. So what we're going to kind of walk through here is these are similar, and then there's differences, right? So Suno AI, again, you go in there, you go to suno.ai, you create a free account. Both of these have free accounts, and they're actually pretty substantial. They still consider, I think Udio is still considered in beta. And then of course, then they have a subscription model that you can get more content, and then you can also, what's key is if you're going to use it in your own display for your own use, free content's fine. Once you move over to the commercial side, like everything else, now you start getting into, you know, you've really got to be licensed for it. So once you go to the next model, they give you a license, and then you can use it for commercial work and for other content, for profit. But if you're just on the free model, they still own it. Um, I want to talk a little bit before we get really into it about if any of you have heard about issues with music, with copyright claims. There's been a lot of talk in the industry, in AI in general, about how they trained these models, because all these models have to be trained. For image models have to be changed with, you know, thousands and millions of images. Audio models are no different, right? How do they get those models? How do they create those models? That's not for me to to, to justify either way. Supposedly, and what they say is they use content that's out there. That's what they call open source content or royalty free content. Again, it is what it is, right? If they use commercial content, that's on them. So the legalities of this right now is there hasn't been any decisions on who owns what. So today, if you create something within the parameters of their licensing agreements, you notionally own the right to use it, may not necessarily own the right to profit from it. Again, if you buy a license, it gives you more flexibility, but you've really got to read the fine print. So read the contracts. But for the most part, what we're going to do today, there's nothing here that is, and I'll show you a little nuance here. There's nothing here that is copyrighted by other owners that we're aware of. Again, if you end up using something that ends up being somewhere down the road from a legal issue of copyrighted content, you may or may not be able to retain the rights to use that. All right. So Suno AI, you go in there, you log in, you sign up. You can use a Google account, you can use just an email account, you can use Facebook. They're pretty much the same. You go ahead in here, basically you say, hey, what am I trying to create? You want to try to be as descriptive as possible. There's a couple examples here. Lyrics, you can let the tool create the lyrics for you. You can create your own lyrics. Again, advantages and disadvantages. It's just like if you're in Xlights, do you do auto content creation or do you go ahead and do your own sequencing? There's meta tags or tags that you can use to create different areas, and we'll get into that. You generate the song. Suno actually creates longer song versions, which is a plus, right? You can also take those versions, you can stitch them together and create longer audio. Whether you do that in the tool or you do it outside of the tool using something like Audacity, that's certainly something you can do. And then you can do other things. Like I said, you can remix, you can create the same music in a different style, you can extend the song, you can change lyrics, you can add lyrics. There's a lot you can do with it. We'll go down up to Udio. Udio is the same way. You go in there, you log in, you get a free account. What do you want to do? Again, there's tags in here. You create, now that only creates 30-second products. I think it's 32 seconds actually is what it is. So you create those. You can create, you get credits, so you can create as many as you want. You can, again, stitch them together. They have what they call in painting. We won't talk about that here because it's a pay to play feature, and whatnot. Same thing, download, use it, whatever. All right. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about here. So I'm going to start with Udio first, and then we'll get into Suno. So again, we talked about pricing model. Udio has a free pricing model, and then they also have a standard and a pro model. You can get a free trial on the standard. Again, like anything else, if you pay up front, it's cheaper by the month. So if it's something that you're going to use a lot, then it's certainly worth getting it. Like here, you get 10 credits a day. They just add on to it, 100 credit limit per month, blah blah blah. But you notice here it doesn't say anything about processing, doesn't talk about how many you can run together, and other features. Here you have a higher limit. You can upload audio, so you can also upload your own audio on this. Again, there's other things you can do here, and then there's the pro. So, and then we'll get into what you can do with Suno. All right, so sorry about that. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into the screen in here, and you're going to notice first thing that's going to come up is things that people have done, right? There's thousands of content out here right now, pieces of content. You can go through, and you can just look, and you can say, hey, I want to see what this is. I want to listen to it. I want to, people can get pretty creative. People can get a little interesting. So first thing you do is if you want to go in here, you want to see how something's done. I'm going to use Christmas because I think Christmas is obviously what we do. So you go in here, you search for Christmas, and there's different areas you can go, focus areas, and it brings up stuff that's already been done. This is one that I actually started playing with because I thought it was interesting, and I learned from it. You can learn from it. So I'm going to give a little snippet on this guy, Christmas in Gotham City by Smell Gourmet, right? This guy actually writes quite a bit of content. You can see he's got 20,000 views, top of the list, and then from a Christmas music content, it kind of goes down from there. I'm going to give a little snippet of this guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, on our next song we all enjoyed singing as children. We'd like to take you and ourselves all back to our childhoods right now with an old favorite with a brand new wild and crazy spin.
Thank you. Thank you.
In Gotham City, snow glittering and the streetlights look so pretty. Been shopping for presents, got a bonus from my job. I got packages in hand.
All right, so that was created with AI. There was nothing in there that was created in seconds using AI, right? So how did he do that, right? So you can go in here and you can go into view, you can add it, you can save it. So when you go in there, right, and you view, and again, he's got some notes in here about if you see this somewhere else, and that's what they should do, because you really can't go in here and trademark or copyright anything, right? So you got a title, and here's the prompt, and I want to show you the prompt because let me see if I can bring up. Let me do this. Let me file new. I'm just going to bring up a text document. So I'm going to put that in here. Show you what a prompt. What? Here's the prompt. Here's the song prompt. A song to the tune of Jingle Bells, crooner, 1950s big band male vocalist, jazz, swing, pop, vocal jazz, big band, happy, traditional pop, live concert, live audience. The more information you can put in there, AI can use that to determine what it wants to do, right? And then here, he's wrote his own lyrics. So you can have speech. Speech is kind of funny because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then he's gone in here and he's created his script, his lyrics. And it'll actually take that and put it into an audio file, right? So that's it. That's really what it is. I mean, to be honest, now I can take this and I can actually remix it. I can extend it. I can copy the prompt and use it for my own. So there's a lot of, you can already do stuff out of the box out there, right? But I think what we're going to do is, and I've gone ahead and created some content here just in the past, and it really, you can see that I've kind of played with it. I've done different things. Haven't, like you said, I haven't really used it that much. But here's a snippet I did, and then we'll kind of walk through how it was done. So this is, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to show a view. Okay. Again, I copied similar, right? I created. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? I went out to Chat GPT, right? And there's actually a GPT out there that I found that it's actually written, and it actually takes it. It makes it a little easier to create the structure, and we'll talk a little bit about structure. But the key is you can go into ChatGPT standard and ask it to create a lyric track or lyrics music for music, and it'll, or for Sunno or Udio, and it'll do it for you. So again, in here, if you put the same thing, I took the same similar. Actually, I just said write a song about virtual Christmas summit. And it came back and it did this. It basically created all of this and it wrote this for me. That's it. So now I have with these meta tags we talked about, right? So it created that for me. I think this was the one. Yeah. So this was another one. This was ChatGPT by itself. Create lyrics for a song about virtual Christmas summit in the style of Christmas. It came back and it created this. Okay. Great. It formatted it for me, and this is ChatGPT by itself. So you can certainly use that on its own. Again, I think that it shows the power of it. So I'll give you a couple examples here. What did I do? So we go into here, and here's a couple, and sometimes it doesn't get it right, right? I'm going to go to, let's see, here's one that I did. I'm going to bring this one up on the screen. And then we're going to create a couple. Okay. For Christmas theme, John Williams. This was one I found. John Williams cinematic film score. Now this was interesting because I said, give me something that sounds like it's going to be like at the start of a movie. And I put lyrics in there. Here's what happened though when I did that. So it created a Christmas theme, but it didn't do any lyrics, right? So sometimes when you do stuff, it's not exactly, you're not going to get what you get out of it. So that's why playing with this stuff sometimes gets you what you want. And like any other AI tool, it doesn't really save what you've done, but it'll go ahead and do the best that it can. Now, we'll talk a little bit about prompts, but we're going to make it easy here, right? If I go in here and I say, I want this in manual mode, there's different things you can do. Also lyrics. Remember I said you can auto-generate lyrics. You can do it just as an instrumental, if that's what you want to do, or you can write your own lyrics. If you tell it to write your own lyrics, this is where you would say, take from ChatGPT, go down here, and then you can go ahead and, and do this. So nothing I'm doing here is proprietary. It's all AI. So we're going to put this in here, right? And we're going to create these lyrics. And what we're going to do is we're going to say create, let's see, a Christmas song in the style of 1980s Christmas 80s Christmas music, Christmas movie theme. That's it. Let's see what this comes up with. Again, you know, I'm not doing anything. Let's try to, maybe we want to do it. Let's see. Maybe we'll do this pop, right? We're gonna do it pop. Maybe we'll do a little bit of vocal. There we go. Let's see what we come up with. So what it's gonna do now, it's gonna actually generate two different audios here. It's giving me a warning saying, hey, you want to use less characters. Again, there's going to be certain constraints, what you want to do. So what it does is once you get up here, you can already start playing it, right? So if I click on this, I can actually go in here and it should let me, whoop, it was looking for a tag. Hang on. So it's generating it now, right? Okay. So this one, so unlike Sunno, Udio does not let you start playing it until it's done. So I'll go ahead and play a couple others while I'm here. These were a couple others that I created. I'll show you the if it'll let me bring up the prompt. Here, a song about being eternally caught in a temporal loop inside, right? So this was just kind of a goofy. This wasn't a Christmas one. So that was one that was just created, again, AI. Holiday cheer. See, now it's already done up there.
Jingle lights, frosty lights, snowflakes in the air. Elves on shelves and Santa's bells, Christmas everywhere.
Now again, that's kind of cool, right? If you wanted to use that for your show, and I'll show you what it looks like. There, I used a song. Here it is. Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, a song sung to the tune of Jingle Bells. That's it. I used that basic prompt, said, let's see what it comes up with Jingle Bells. So this is a script I got Chat GPT. There was a couple other words I changed in it because here it said, I don't know, gingerbread man or something like that, and it didn't rhyme. So I went ahead and I put these lyrics in here, and I'll show you this a little bit. Verse 1. You can actually tell it the meta tags again. Here's my first verse, the chorus, which is what it sings over and over, the second verse and chorus, and then the outro. And these are those tags you use when you're creating this. Now, what you heard there was gibberish. Sometimes AI doesn't get it right. So when it's trying to create something, it's going to go ahead and it might not sound exactly the way you want it to sound. So you have to kind of use your imagination and figure out, hey, is that really what I'm looking for? And sometimes you got to do it a couple of times. And that's why working with it, playing with it really makes a difference, right? So now what we're going to do here is I want to go ahead and I'm going to play the ones that I just created. Let's see what it sounds like. We're going to go here. We're going to play this.
Jingle lights, frosty nights, snowflakes in the air. Elves on shelves and Santa's bells, Christmas everywhere.
I mean, that sounds like an 80s cartoon or an 80s movie, right? So I have one version, and I may want to use that in my display. I may want to sequence that. I mean, again, you really gotta, let's do a view on here so we can see exactly what we did, right? There's the lyrics. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna play the second one. Remember I said it creates two of them. So it's gonna always create two different tracks. Let's try this one and see what it sounds like. All right, I can tell I don't like that one, right? So again, you can try it again. You can try different things. So I don't know why I put punk in there. But again, this one here, let's say I want to do something different. I can extend it. I can remix it. So let's talk about doing an extend. So now that I have this clip, what can I do with it? I can extend it And I can add my own lyrics. I can do auto lyrics on it. So I'm going to leave it auto generated. I'm going to add an intro before, and I'm going to make it instrumental. So I'm going to tell it just create an instrumental intro to the audio that I just created, right? And you notice it's extend. This is the power of this. So you notice this is 32 seconds, right? So when I go in here now and I say extend, what it should do now, and it's going to create 2 more audio tracks similar to what I had. It may be different, but let's see what it does. Hopefully it'll use the same theory. And now you notice as it's creating it again, it should, if I'm right, it should go ahead and give me something that is a little over a minute at the end of the day. So there's a lot of different options you can use. Crop and extend. You can actually edit your music in here. So if you wanted to add something in the middle, you can certainly do it in here like any other audio editing program, which is kind of cool. Advanced features. Again, we're not going to get a whole lot. There's different models. So 1.5 is the latest model. 1.0 is the one that I was using before, and then they come up with 1.5. Here's where you can start playing with, hey, do I want the prompt to be exact, or do I want it to use its own AI ability, which is exactly what it does, right? Lyric strength. So I'm just using the basic out of the box. How is this thing set up? Again, conversion quality, it costs you tokens. So the more you do, the more it's going to cost you to do it. You notice it's taking a little longer here because it has to think about what it's trying to create, because it's taking the original and now it's going to go ahead and extend it. But yeah, so a lot of different things you can do. All I'm doing is I'm adding an intro. You can add a section before or after where you click it in here. You could add a section, so before and after, and you can add an outro. So let's say you wanted to do an outro. You could come here if you didn't have one. You could come in here and you could actually add an outro, and it would go ahead and extend it again. So while it's doing this, you notice it says extension V1 and V2. You can name them yourself. But here we go. Let's see what this sounds like now. Let's see what we end up with on this one first. I have no idea what it was saying. All right. So we'll go to this one. So you notice here, it added the intro.
Satan's around. Jingle lights, frosty nights, snowflakes in the air.
So again, based on the prompt that I used, that's what it created. Now you notice that one is completely different than the one I did before. So sometimes you're going to get something, and you can stitch these together, right? So you can do an in paint, and that's what I was talking about. But if you go to in paint, I believe in paint is a, for a nominal fee, you can go ahead and do that. So that's kind of Udio in a nutshell. But again, there's other things you can do. Again, when you look at anything that I've created or other people have created, you can always go into and look and see how was it created. There's lots of prompts you can do. I mean, there's literally hundreds of different prompts that you can do, but mostly what you're going to end up with is these are the kind of things that you're going to use for the most part. Spoken word, I'll give you an example. I think I did that in Sunno because Udio isn't as good as spoken word. Let me see if this is in here. Let me see.
All right, folks,
Here we go.
gather around, gather around. Let me tell you about my buddy David. Now it's his birthday today. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, anyway, I did this. This was for David Peace, by the way.
David's the kind of guy who, bless his heart, sets his alarm for 7 a.m., but wakes up at noon and says, the early bird catches the worm.
So what I did with that, and it's again, I had to look it up because I'm like, how do you get a comedy club atmosphere out of something that creates music, right? So I'll show you the prompt. Let's go ahead and take this. I'll copy it. I'll bring it over here. We'll go here. Okay, create a stand-up comedy routine about David, wishing him a happy birthday in the style of a stand-up comedy routine, Ron White style jokes with an audience and a laugh track. So what it did was it took that and it created this pretty much this script, right? So that's what it does. That's exactly how this works. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you get something different. The point is that if you play around with it enough, because I had to do several generations of this, and I extended it, right? So this one ended up becoming what was this one? 138, right? Because I ended up extending it. So it ended up becoming almost a little over a minute and a half, and it started out with a 30-second clip, right? And I'll show you how it started.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? Great to hear. So we've got a special night tonight.
And I didn't like that. Same thing. So I went ahead and I did several generations, and I ended up with the final one I did. There's a couple other things in here. Let's see. Let's see this one. So I tried this one. So this was a prompt where I went in here, and again, I said, "Give me jingle." This is another Jingle Bells Batman smells, but I wanted it a little bit differently.
Oh, jingle lights, frosty lights, snowflakes in the air. Elves on shelves and Santa's bells, Christmas everywhere.
Okay, so we got that style, and then so every time you do this, it's going to come up with the different versions, and it's going to try something different.
Golden circles all around the scene, so the roof like a record spin.
Completely different, different style. So that's Udio. Again, if you want to use it, play around with it. It's free. You get credits, and then if you find that it's something you want to use, and you can go in there and modify. Certainly, you know, I encourage it. I've used it for doing a lot of short things. I haven't yet created a full song for my display, but you can certainly do that with enough time and patience. And again, it's as easy as going out there, looking what somebody else has done and say, hey, can I use what they've done? Let's look at this. And then we'll go on to Sunno. Instantly create a song. A love story between two AIs and a server farm. The retirement, there we go. Let's try this one. The retirement party for the Grim Reaper. I've never done an instant song before. So let's see if this actually works. Maybe not. Maybe it won't do it. All right. Never done it before. But let's see. Oh, won't even let me copy it. So I have no idea. Let's try. Nope. Nope. So that's not going to work for me. So don't know why. Again, this is beta, so it's entirely possible. They're probably giving you an idea for a theme, but what they should allow you to do is either copy it or have it go in there, and when you click on it, have it created. So it's not doing that, unfortunately. Oh, here it is right up here. Let me see. Nope, never mind. It put it up there. My apologies. So now I can go up here, and hopefully it'll, I don't want to extend it. Nope, hang on. So go to create page. We're going to create. Okay, so we changed it. So let's go back. Let's see if it picks it again. So again, I've never used that before. So, but all right, here it is. We'll do this. Interesting. There. Let's create. Let's see what it comes up with. EDM. Now it's going to create them. Just like that. It gave me an idea. I said, hey, let's try it. Let's see what it does. That's the magic of using AI and like other tools. Sometimes you're going to get something that you like and sometimes you don't. And I think when we go to Sunno, you'll see it a little bit differently on how Sunno does things in a little different fashion. So we'll let this finish out. But you can go through here, you can search, you can look for, there's some interesting interesting creations out there, I'll give it that much. And so some of it, they'll actually market NSFW. So I think there are some controls around the creation like other AI tools. But again, I think that you got to use your own judgment and know that anything is possible when you're dealing with AI. We'll let this finish for a couple more minutes here. There we go. Let's check out this one, see what it sounds like. Kind of cool. All right, let's try this one. What it did was it auto-generated. It said, hey, give me this type of layout here. And so the beauty of that, again, is you can use something that's there and say, oh, I kind of like that. Or you can go in there and change it just by changing one or two of these prompts. It'll change the nature of the audio. All right, so that is Udio. Let's go over to Sunno. Again, I have no control over what ends up in here, so we'll try to keep it as PG as possible. Sunno AI, another same thing. You get credits for it. You can subscribe. When you subscribe, again, the pricing is there's the free account, there's the $10 a month account, which gives you more credits, which means more songs. You get the commercial terms, so you can use it for commercial venues, you can use it for your own use, but the free account, so I could not use this if I was going to do it in any of my commercial work. I could not use the music. It's not licensed for it, therefore I won't. But for my own personal use, absolutely. So let's get into this because it's the same type of concept, a little bit different. It also, Sunno actually also gives you the ability to upload your own audio. Now, caveat on this, it's got to be royalty free. You got to have permission to use it. If you try to upload audio that you don't own, if it's copyrighted music, that's going to be a problem, right? So if if you don't own it, don't do it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you shouldn't do it. Let's put it that way. All right, so you notice that they've gone through different models. They keep the legacy models there, and you'll notice the screen's a little bit similar, but it's different. So kind of the layout's kind of the same, and a lot of these application systems, they do that, right? So let's go in here again, and I'm going to use the same approach here. So I can create any lyric. I can go, let's see, surprise me on the lyrics. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a surprise me first of all. Say surprise me. Just give me whatever. Let's see what you come up with. All right. Here's the lyrics it came with. Sleeping outside, it's pouring, barefoot in the street, can't resist the calling, feel the rhythm beat. Okay, I have no idea what this is, what it tried to do. I can do it in any kind of style of music. We won't do that because I'm not really sure. I mean, again, you kind of get the idea now, right? So I'm going to go into a couple more that we did, and then we'll go ahead and create one maybe. If we can undo here in a minute. We undo the microphones. Maybe we'll get a couple suggestions here and create one. So this was a couple things I did. I'm not going to say they're good because they're some of them are bad. I will give you that. So again, here I'm going to go into this one here, Jingle Bells parody. Remember the same thing. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to, because these I can extend it. Edit details. Okay. So this is where, so that's nice too here. You can change the image on these. You can change the name of it. I was hoping it was going to let me see in here. There it is. Okay, so there's the, I did this Christmas in the style of the move. I did it wrong, so we'll see. Die Hard, right? The same, this is the same lyrics for Jingle Bells. Let's see what we end up with.
Jingle lights, frosty nights, snowflakes in the air.
That does not sound like Die Hard to me. Again, I was playing with different things. So let's try the other one. Let's see what this one comes out like.
Jingle lights, frosty nights, snowflakes in the air. Elves on shelves and Santa's bells. Christmas everywhere. Cookies baked, stockings.
That's a little better, right? That's a little more like what we were looking for. But again, it's not exactly the same. Now I can reuse the prompt because, all right, so here's the lyrics again, and all I said was same thing, Christmas. So it created the second one. So it created this one that time, you know. So I may like that. I may want to use that, or I may just trash it. Again, once I redo these, it'll come up with different things. Again, so now custom. If I don't want to do custom, all I got to do is tell it, hey, what do I want to sing about? So if we go ahead and we unmute a couple microphones, somebody give me a theme that we want to write a song about.
Small Town Christmas.
Okay, so a small town Christmas. Town Christmas. Okay. Let's see, which brings back, we'll say brings back the memory of a childhood. There we go. Christmas. Just say that, right? Make the song about need I. So here we go. That's it, right? All I'm doing is saying, making it easy, create this for me. So now, Sunno, what you're going to see is, now, first of all, you notice that other song I just did was 2 minutes in length. It created that on its own. I didn't have to extend it or anything. It just went ahead and created it. So that's why I like Sunno. Now, Sunno, you can see here, it's creating it now. But I can start playing it while it's creating it. And there, it's done.
Snow is falling, oh so light. Stars are twinkling through the night.
Okay, so that's one, and then we'll listen to the other one.
Snow is falling, oh so light.
And there's the lyrics it created.
Stars are twinkling through the night.
It's kind of cool.
Houses glowing red and green. Childhood whispers in between. Warmth of cinnamon in the
We'll go to the chorus.
everywhere.
See if we go to the chorus here.
In the snow, memories of long ago. Small town Christmas, oh so bright. Takes me back to that first night.
That's pretty cool, right? All we did was we put in that one prompt and it created a song. If we like it, we keep it. If we want to change it, we can either add something else here. We can change this to, modern pop. We can do whatever we want to. And again, you can extend it down here. If I go back to custom, right, now it brings back what I had before. So this is where you would create the lyrics and the style of music, just like we did before, no difference. The title, right? So here, if I can use similar lyrics. So what we'll do is, let's see if it'll let me. No, it won't edit details. Let me see. Oh, nope, it's not gonna do that. So here, it won't let me actually copy the lyrics here. But I could use something similar to ChatGPT. So let's go back here, right? And so we'll say again, a small, just by changing something. Now, if I use the same exact prompt, it's going to be something completely different. A small town Christmas. And let's say, throw me a genre, an era. Somebody give me a
Hip hop.
in the style, there you go, of hip hop. See what it does. Again, it's really fast. So you could actually create, you can, I mean, your imagination, whatever you want to try, it's great. And I'd say start with this. You never know what it's going to come up with. And again, it learns, it's tracking. Every time somebody does something and people like it or don't like it, they actually learn. So I think the advantage of doing something like this is you never know what you come up with. All right, let's see. I'm sure it's going to be substantially different. See what it comes out with.
Lights on every corner shine. Christmas tree with stars that climb. Snow is falling cold but bright. Kids are laughing full of light. Folks are dancing, spirits high. Hot cocoa warms the nights gone by. Windows glow with golden gleam. Small town living, festive dream. Small town Christmas, love we show. Peace and joy, the feelings grow.
Not too bad, right? I mean, that's not bad at all. Let's see what the second one came out with.
Lights on every corner shine. Christmas tree with stars that climb.
Now I'm not really happy about that. So let's change that. Small town Christmas in the style. Let's do the style of Let's see, what's another one? Let's try reggae. Because that almost sounded like reggae, didn't it? The
How
second one,
about
which,
rock and roll?
oh, we can do a rock one. There you go. Which genre, which era?
How about 50s?
Style of, let's see, Small Town Christmas, 1950s. We'll say swing jazz. And we'll say, let's do live audience. Swing jazz, live audience. Let's try that. See what it comes up with. Again, I'm not creating the lyrics. It's creating its own lyrics. It's doing it on its own. In the meantime, we can listen to the reggae.
Snowflakes falling slow, lights on every tree.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Snowflakes falling slow, lights.
Nope, I don't like that one. But I do like this one. So I may keep that. I may change it a little bit. There are ways also in the paid version, and I know we're kind of on a time thing here, but we got a little bit of wiggle room because it is the end of the day. You can actually seed these like anything else, like you can do in image files, you can seed them. So I can actually get a number from this in the paid version. I can actually get a unique number from it, like a serial number, and I can use that to build on the next one. So it does give you the ability to do that. Let's try this.
In a small town glow where the starlight twinkles, snowflakes dance and the church bells tinkles, children's laughter in the frosty air.
Let's go to the chorus.
Grandma's baking her famous pie.
Okay, let's try the other one.
In the small town glow where the starlight twinkles, the snowflakes dance and the church bells tinkles.
I mean, that's not too shabby for something that's free that you just spent 30 seconds putting together. I mean, this you could spend hours doing this, right? You can create jingles. There's ways when you create your own custom, and again, I think this is one of those things that I'll do another session on this, like maybe one night I'll do a live Zoom, because I think it's important. Like here, I could take here in the verse, so I'll write these lyrics, right, and get them down. And there's a way to copy them. I just don't have it here right now. You can get them when you go into the extend. I think it's when I extend it can do that. But what you can do is, let's say in the lyrics, I go in here and I put in parentheses, I put in this same quote, right? Now when I do this, so this is one of those meta tags, and again, I didn't create this. I found this out just by research. It'll actually produce that as if it was in the background as background singers. So your backup singers. So it would say something like, step outside, it's pouring, and you'd hear the background singers do step outside, it's pouring. So I kind of as a follow-up to this, and I'm trying to find my Zoom chat here. I hope this was kind of interesting and helpful and fun. I like it. I mean, I started doing AI, like I said, with ChatGPT, did some other AI stuff. The voice stuff, again, like I said, is still not perfect, but it's getting better. But I think the music is probably, next to the image generation, my opinion is the music is moving at a fast pace ahead of everything else. And I think at some point, it's going to be hard to tell the difference between AI generated music and the real thing that a real artist or band does. So hopefully this was entertaining, to say the least. And I'll open it up now to any questions.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you. Say that you went back to that hip hop, the hip hop song. You really liked the, but you hated the.
No, it's not that I hated it. It's just it's not my it's not my favorite, right?
Generated whatever song. I mean, you could pick any of these, right?
Yep.
But I really enjoyed the lyrics of that song, but I didn't like the music to it.
Right. So when you get in there, and I think let me see if this is Copy song link. All right, that's the link. So I think in here, if I do reuse prompt, okay. So now when I do reuse prompt, now it's gonna, that's it. So now it's gonna give me the lyrics. So this now gives me the ability to edit the lyrics the way I want it, and now I can change this the same. So we'll go here to the reggae because I use, let's see what the lyrics were here. Or which it was the hip hop, right? So if we go here to the hip hop and I say reuse prompt, so what it did was it took my verse and it copied it here, and now I can use that to create a brand new. Now I can create this as, you know, 70s funk, right? 70s funk. So it's that easy. You say, hey, I didn't like that. And sometimes you got to say, well, it didn't give me what I wanted to. So you play with the prompts and you kind of get something a little different. This is why I like Sunno too, because it's faster. I think you can get more generations out of it. And again, let's see what this comes up with. Let's try this one. Let's see what the lyrics on this one were. Now you could do disco, right? We could do disco. Let's try it in disco. And in the meantime, any other questions, comments?
Yeah, Carl, can you choose the chord progressions, and can you even choose like a melody that you might want it to follow?
Right. So the answer is yes. But again, it's in a paid version. So as far as the chord progressions, if you use a seed audio, right? So in the paid version, again, up here, you can upload your own audio. And then what happens is it says original audio between 6 and 60 seconds. Audio with vocals will be made private only. So I don't know, maybe it'll let me do it. I don't think it will, though. I think once I go to drop it, it's going to say, hey, you got to pay for it. But notionally, yes, you would use that particular seed, that audio, and build off of it, and it'll use that to kind of build that. There's no facility to actually put a chord progression in there. You just have to kind of, I mean, if you put it in the prompt, it might work. You could say in the key of, you know, C major or E minor or whatever, and it might actually, it might do it for you. I've never seen that prompt, but. You know, see, when they get into that type of. So again, all you got to do is change your prompts, change what you want. And you can use multiple. I could use disco, I could use alternate pop rock and sludge metal all in the same track, and it might give me something good, but most likely I don't think that's going to be. It's going to be what I want it to be. So.
You get it from here to your desktop so that you can sequence to it.
Sure, you can download it. So right here, there is, I want to say download. So if I wanted to download this one we just did, this one here, live audience swing jazz, I think it was this one. I go here, and I can make it public too, right? So if I want to share it with somebody, I can. And here I just go to download. I can do it audio and the video. Now, the video is takes a lot longer because all the video is going to give you is this image. But in this image, you can actually add your own image and you can create a video and put a video there. So now it's downloaded. So it's created an MP3 file that now I can play in right there. And it's free. So.
How many songs do you think you could do?
Well, I mean, so the credits, I forget what the credit cost is. Each one's going to be different credits depending on the length. So I've got 240 credits. Now that's free. I have a free subscription, guys. I just haven't used it in a few weeks, right? So the credits just add, and as many credits as it takes. This morning, I think I started with like, I don't know, 350 credits or something like that. And I think I've created all of these today. I may have created more. I don't know. And then there's another page, right? So I can go to the next page. So you can create a bunch. I mean, like I said, and what I like about Suno is you get longer tracks. Now, and again, you can take that, you can edit it in Audacity or any other music editing tool that you have, right? Um, you can delete ones you don't like. You can go in here and you can delete it. If you want to share it, you can copy the link and share it. So if I wanted to share it with y'all, I could go in here and click share, send you the link, and you could actually access it. It's all, even though it says private, I'm sharing it with you, so it becomes public. Suno's actually started this thing called Song Radio in the latest generation of 3.5. That actually, if you like a particular type of music or genre or what have you, it'll actually build a radio station based on your likes. I can't say that it's going to be perfect, but I mean, that's new. What a concept, right? Who's to say that I like this so much, now I'm going to go to Song Radio and it's going to notionally give me a bunch of songs that may or may not be similar. I don't know what some of these are and I'll be afraid to play them. The point is that it now gave me a playlist of a couple dozen songs. 2 hour, each one of these is probably 2 to 3 minutes. And then you like or don't like it and it gets smarter. So what else? All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Again, you can IM me, ask me questions. I'll try to do a follow-up here. I think I'll get together with some of my other AI folks, and maybe we'll do a couple of sessions on this. Maybe we'll do one in next year. We'll do a full-blown one in the Zoom room, or we'll just do one as part of a separate deal. So if we're done, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I think that's it for VCS tonight, except for room one is the social hour or two, whatever you all feel like doing. I think they get everybody together in there and just kind of chat for a while. So appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all later.
Thanks, Carl.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Carl.
we will
Interesting.
stop sharing. Yeah, Mr. Christmas, that is definitely interesting, and it changes every day. That's the beauty of it. It does. It changes every single day. They're coming out with some new stuff, and to me,
And there's
it's
also
interesting.
some AI that you can create a speaking Santa Claus and other
Oh
faces
yeah. Oh,
that
that's
you can drop
DID.
into.
Oh yeah, DID. I actually have one of those. You're on here, so like I said, I don't have to close the room out. Let me
That was great. Thank you. I created a song while you were talking, following up.
There you go. See, it's easy.
You made it, yeah, you made it really easy, and that was fun. Small town, Hallsville, Texas. It really sounds like something I might want to sequence.
And you know what? We'd love to hear it because I mean that's something that I think that's going to be the next. Because again, right now for your own use, you can generate whatever you want, and you can share it with people and say, "Hey, here's what I did." Um, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it was helpful. And just put in what you want. I'll show you really quick since it was brought up. This is DID right here. Um, and I'll show you this because now that it's done. I actually did this yesterday when we were working on the intro video. I think, hang on. Let me share one more time. Okay, so are you seeing my screen now? Yeah, there we go. All right, so I created this actually yesterday when we were doing the original video, and this is one of the sounds I did, one of the voices I did.
Welcome, young and old. Come join the fun to the virtual Christmas summit where we meet as one.
So I took an image, I created it in Midjourney, I did the audio, it allowed me to do the audio, and then I used this tool, DID, and I mapped it to this face. It's as simple as that. Again, I've done a few of these, not as many, but you can create your own again by using image creators. It'll allow you to actually create one. I know that's not the topic of this meeting, but yeah, that's the power of it.
You used image to do the mouth movements to get the linked up to the audio.
Oh, it does it itself. So DID DID is one of those tools where when you create it, and I'll do a create real quick. I'll show you one. So when you go in here, you can use an existing AI, which again most of them are premium, and I've got a basic account. I don't have a premium account, or you can create your own, and these were some of the ones I created, right? And so when you do that, it's very you can either do it outside, but it's very particular on the mouth, right? So when you're creating these and you have these mouth, it has to be able to identify and use the mouth movement. So several of these, several it wouldn't even create, and then a couple didn't work, and then this was the one that finally it was able to take that mouth. And what you do is you tell it what you want here if you want to create an avatar, or pull one you've already done here or somewhere else, and then you go into the script. You can either type a script and pull an AI voice, or you can do like what I did is you can actually upload an audio. So here's the cool thing. Now that you've created your music file using Sunno or Udio, now you can bring it in here and you can match it up with a face that you've done. So let's say you want to do a small town Christmas and you want Joe Rogan singing it, which is what this one is. If you want Joe Rogan singing it or Santa Claus or whoever, you can use that and it'll match up the mouth movements. Once it allows that face, it'll match up the mouth movements to that audio. Again, it's cost based, so it's how many credits you have. Like here, I've got 8 minutes left because 32 credits, 8 minutes left. The length of the video in DID is based on how many credits it is. So there's all different tools out there for doing voice, audio, image, movies. There's AI video, which is again is moving at such a fast pace. It's almost ridiculous about how fast it's moving. So yeah, I mean, play around with this stuff. Go out there, look at it. Some of it's kind of janky, but I can tell you DID is premier when it comes to this type of stuff. Midjourney for images, I think, is still one of the best ones out there. There's another audio. There's a couple audio different programs, and I can't think of the names of them right now. But there's a couple out there that that do a really good job in some cases. Again, they're not perfect because just like you saw with the music, AI has a hard time with inflections because it can't add personality, it can't add those pauses, and you've really got to make your phrases exactly for what you want. So it takes a lot of time if you're using an AI voice per se, or even a video to get what you want. But at the end of the day, I think we embrace it. I know in the first session that they had here, or not the first session, but the one about the future of lights, they were talking about AI and how it is and will change, change the industry. So, all right,
will,
go ahead, Rick. I got time.
will it go get a voice? Like if I wanted Taylor Swift intro using Taylor Swift's voice, will it go get that and
well, you would have to upload it. Now, the legality of doing, now again, it doesn't check my audio and say, hey, this is copyrighted. However, if I put in a prompt, and in Sunno, if I try to create something and I say, hey, create this music and in the style of Taylor Swift, it's going to glom on that and it's going to say, sorry, can't do that. You can't use Taylor Swift. But what you can do is you can look up a prompt, so you can go out there and search and say, I need a prompt for Sunno that I can use that sounds like Taylor Swift, and it'll say, pop rock, da 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 da, do this, female voice, 30-year-old type of stuff, and it'll get really close, right? That's where the copyright stuff comes in, right? Because once you start copying somebody's voice, that's their intellectual property, you start getting into the whole legal aspect of it. So a lot of these AI tools have actually ratcheted back, and they put in some checks and balances to prevent that, because again, they're kind of liable for that.
Thank you.
Let me just ask something again real quick about.
Uh-huh.
As a recap, say I want to make a short little video just to have in the end of my driveway of some sort. Okay, 2 minute video on a loop. First, I would go to Sunno, create a song,
Mhm.
and then I go to the DDI.
Well, the DID will just create what you just saw. It only creates a talking head, if you will. There are AI video generation tools out there, but they only create like a 10-second video or a 4-second video. So there's nothing really out there yet that creates like a 3-minute video in AI. What I would recommend if you want to do something like that is start going out to looking for royalty-free video. And when I say royalty-free, it means that it's either free or you pay a subscription, and these sites will actually you purchase them with their license, and you can use that video clip, that loop, or that video clip, and then you can edit the audio over it. So there's different ways to do that, but there's no AI tool out there that I'm aware of that you can do more than say a several second or a 20-second clip for video. And the video is kind of it's not great, right?
So the video that Yaris had at the beginning of the day today,
hmm
who made that?
That actually was Jordan did that. Jordan put that together. But those were actual clips from from the movie. So
Hey, Carl,
yeah.
just in case you need it, I did a recording of you as well.
Okay, perfect. I think I got the recording here, so once we jump off here, it's gonna take probably an hour to render. But no, this has been good, guys, and I appreciate it. I think that anytime you can learn stuff like this, and I'm not an expert, right? I use it for doing work that I do and just playing around with it. But out of all the AI tools I've used, I think using Midjourney for creating images, and Sunno AI and Udio at some respect for doing music now, I think those are awesome tools. And then I think within the next year, I think the video is going to be the next big thing. I think there's a lot of resources that are being poured into generating AI video. But I think the music, a year from now, if we do this same thing, it's going to be completely different. Suno may not be around anymore. Udio may not be around anymore. There may be other tools that have supplanted those, that you click a button, you put it in there, and it creates a 3 or 4 minute song that you can't really separate. I will add one more thing before we break here. All that I'm aware of, all AI generated media, and I'll say video, images, audio, is going to have some sort of watermark in it, right? So there will be what they call an artifact in that file, whether it's again audio or images, that somebody will be able to go in there and identify that it was an actual AI and not a live person or a real person. So there and some of the AI stuff is, you can tell it's AI, and some of it's really hard to tell. But again, there's always going to be that watermark in there, and that's done by design. So anyway, everybody, cheers. Have a great weekend, and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, buddy.
Ho, ho, ho.